Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX, and today we are back once again in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Let's go ahead and head back to Bubba's Fix-It Shop. Let's see what we've got today. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you yet, and if you have a moment, leave a comment down below. Let's go ahead and hit that roll. Howdy, y'all. Bubba here, back at Bubba's Fix-It Shop. Let's go ahead and see what we've got lined up for today. Got a couple of different things here. I guess we've got, oh, that's a fancy car right there. Brake systems and some other tasks. Let's go ahead and take both of those, actually. Give us a little bit of a variety today. Line them both up outside here. This one's kind of nice. It's one of them electric vehicles. Nothing in the trunk. Alright, let's go ahead and put this thing back onto the lift here. Get this brake system taken care of here. What seems to be the problem? ABS module, ABS pump, brake calipers, brake pads. I know where both of them are, so I'm just going to mark those. Let's go ahead and see what all we're looking at here. Click into here. We're going to need one of them and one of them. Let's go ahead and take them off here. Haven't been but a few weeks since the missus and the kids and I moved out here. We've been settling in pretty nicely. The neighbors have been gracious to us. Kind of reminds me a little bit of home. And see where them brake pads are at. There we go. All three of them. Yeah, we're gonna have to take wheels off all of these. Let's go ahead and put this thing up on the lift here. Change this radio station. What are we at currently? Sounds like they're all pretty much the same. Well, there we go. Let's go with that one. That sounds a little more to my liking. Alright. Go ahead and start taking these wheels off here. Get these brakes fixed. Plus with the air wrench going, you can't most of the time hear the music anyway, but those times in between that you can't, at least we got something pleasant to listen to. Oop, that one's gonna need a little bit of binoculars. It's penetrating oil on there. Always amazes me sometimes, these bolts, just how stubborn they can be. Oop, there's another one. Put a bit of old spray of penetrating oil on there though, and them bolts just come right on out. Go ahead and knock this caliper loose here. Oh my goodness. Them brake pads, I tell you. People just let these things go for so long you hardly recognize them. We'll need two of them. And a brake calipers. And I guess we're going to have to go back to the electronics here. There we go. ABS and a pump. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and start putting this thing back together here. Whoop, nope, back together. There we are. Put that brake disc back on. Brake pads. I guess we've got plenty of those in the inventory now. Nope. Let's go back here. Let's put back on the one that was back here. Let's go with. There we go. Wasn't a problem with this one, so we'll put back on what we took off of it. Otherwise, they start getting expensive. You replace everything that's on a vehicle that's not quite 100% brand new condition. Had a time when I was working on somebody's car back in Georgia. Kind of felt bad for them, so started putting just about everything back onto their car in brand new condition, and whew, it got a bit pricey. Learned my lesson after that. Just stick to what they ask to be fixed and leave the rest of it alone. Of course, you don't want them driving off without any brakes either, so take their vehicle down off the lift and there's no brakes on it, they ain't gonna be very happy. Alright, let's go ahead and put this brake caliper on. There we are. Ooh. That was unlocked some new tools there. Alright. Let's go ahead and get up here and replace this ABS module. That pump on. There we are. And that, put these on as well so that we're not looking at the come on, there we go. Alright. That's got all those fixed up. Placed all of them. Let's go ahead and finish up that order. Woo-wee! Hop outside here. We'll go ahead and get this next one put onto the rack here. Oh, here, let's go ahead and use that new OBD scanner here. This has just got the internal components. Engines on these are electronic. They're all kind of back here, so let's go ahead and see, I guess, what we're looking at fixing here. Brake fluid, coolant fluid. Well, guess there's not a whole lot of use for it here. Let's go ahead and run our electronic OBD scanner. Go ahead and put that on here. We'll just check it, see if there's any other problems with it. Looks like all their cables and battery modules are all in the right places and doing what they're supposed to do. Excellent. We get this nice little parts readout here at the back end of it. Kind of lets us know how everything's going underneath the hood there, or I suppose back underneath the trunk. Brake fluid, coolant fluid. Alright. Let's go ahead and we'll get our drain tool here then. Take those two out of there. There we are. And the brake fluid. Still plenty of them in there. That's good. At least they wasn't running out. Nice new bright stuff in there though. There we are. Alright, and we'll do the same thing for the brakes over here. Fancy new electric cars, they can be a bit of a hassle sometimes for fixing them up. I like the old internal combustion ones myself. Throw these things back down and off she goes. There we are. Alright, go ahead and see what else we got here. Inspect and replace filters, engine oil and filters. Brake system needs fixing. Oh. Got an old one here, a 1993 Vallsen. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Good morning. Hello, young man. Please help me. I set off on the ride and my car stopped working. It just shut down suddenly. That's never a good deal when your car just randomly shuts down. Fortunately, some good young men towed me to your workshop. If it weren't for them, I'd rather not go into it. Please see what you can do to get it up and running again. I have no idea what could have happened. Usually everything was working just fine for about a 6-month break. After a 6-month break. Thanks for setting up a workshop here in the middle of nowhere. In the meantime, please allow me to use the restroom. I'll see you soon. Alright. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this young man running. Oh my goodness. Well, it could be the radiator there, young man. Looks like that's about to fall out the engine there. Go ahead and get our scanner here. We'll see if it'll tell us what's got going on. Doesn't have an OBD port. Well, got all these fancy new tools and the car ain't fancy enough to actually use them on it. So go ahead and use the electric multimeter here. Oh my goodness. Well, starter and alternator would be a good place to start. Got a relay busted up in there. Another relay. Oh goodness. Well, that's a good place to start, young man. We'll go ahead and take care of them. Do all of this out here, but I think their water pump's gonna need replaced as well. There we go. Go ahead and get a starter. Whoop. Nope, we just need standard one. There we go. There we are. And then, oh goodness, alternator. Their water pump's all busted up too. Go ahead and take that. Take off their serpentine belt here. That's going to need fixing also. Water pump. Idler roller. Looks like they got a decent amount of work needs done on this thing. You're going to need an engine oil filter as well. And that thing's seen better days. Oops, let's take that idler roller off. There we are. Serpentine belt. I'm going to take that one off as well. I'll have to move this thing inside, take the water out of it. If there's any left in the radiator. Only 10% serviceability on that one. Let's go ahead and we're going to drain the water out of this one. Whatever's left of it. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left in that one. Alright. Go ahead and we'll take the water pump off of here. There we are. And put the radiator on the list here. Take that one off. Looks like they're going to be in need of a new fuel filter as well. Yep, that'd be a problem. Alright. Go ahead and take a look at our shopping list here. Alright, we're going to need ourselves a fuel filter. And a radiator. Serpentine belt. And a water pump. Another serpentine belt. And let's see here, alternator. Go ahead and pop over to the electric portion of our shop here. There we are. This little job's gonna cost you a pretty penny there, son. Suppose to get back on the road again, you probably gonna need a little bit of it. Get that radiator back on. Put your water pump in. There we are. Gas serpentine belt back on. There we are. Alternator. There we go. And we're going to need one of them idler rollers. There we are. Let's open up our shopping list here. Idler roller. And we're going to have to go back to the main section of it here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and change that radio station again. Let's go ahead and... There we go. Turn on something without the lyrics. Never know what some of these radio people are going to say, so... Alright. Back we go. Belt tensioner, cam gears, clutch plates. Oh my goodness, he's got a lot of stuff to fix on here. We got some of it, but... Timing belt, spark plugs, relays. Belt tensioner, cam gears, clutch plates. Oh my goodness, ignition wires. Go ahead and mark them and the relays here quickly. And clutch plates, we're going to take the car up into the lift. So let's go ahead and we'll move this inside. There we go. Put this thing up on the lift here. We'll get underneath there and take the gearbox apart. You have to take the drive shaft off it here so we can get that gearbox open. One of the longest things on the vehicle there as far as mechanical parts go. There we are. Alright, let's go ahead and let's take starter back off so we can get that gearbox taken off here. Suppose I should have taken a little bit of a look on the list here. There we are. Alright, we're going to need ourselves a clutch release bearing. Go ahead and take that off. Pressure plate looks like it's okay. A couple rusty bolts in there. There we go. Goodness gracious, we're going to need us one of them too. Alright, let's go ahead and open up our tablet and our shopping list here. There we are. Perfect. Alright, we'll go ahead and put our clutch release bearing back on. Put your starter back on. Yeah, alright, there we are. That's goddamn fixed. Let's come up here, take a look at the engine. Put the lift back down here. That should take care of everything that's going to be up on the underside there. Now we're going to need to change the oil on the thing too, I think. Pop this hood back open here. them on the list there. Let's see how these spark plugs are looking. I need one of them. Make that 2 of them. 3. Oh goodness, how long's it been since you've had new spark plugs put into this thing? That one was rusty. Go ahead and get an extra one there. Alright. Start putting these spark plugs back in. Ooh, that's a lot better. Alright. And then let's go ahead and get into our handy tablet again here. Get ourselves some ignition wires. Whew. There we are. Alright. I'm gonna have to go ahead and take the timing cover off of here, so just back taking idlers and suspension. No, we got to take off all the belts again. Off that crankshaft pulley. There we go. Oh goodness. Always amazes me, just because you can't see it going bad under there doesn't mean it's not happening. Go ahead and get one of them. Shopping list. Now we done got too much stuff on here. Let's go ahead and clear this whole list here. Have a few too many cars worth of parts on there. There we go, that's what we're looking for. Alrighty. And let's go ahead and get our belt tensioner. There we are. Got a couple in the inventory now that's seen better days. I do like them handy ones where you just pop it back on, don't have to screw other them bolts in. Seen a couple of timing covers that's going on to vehicles before where you're putting bolt after bolt after bolt into there and it just takes all day. Alright, let's see what else we're looking for. Need a fuel pump, oil filter, and a couple of relays, and then we'll be about done here. Go ahead and take this fuse box cover off here and see what we're looking at. They don't look in too bad condition, but my goodness. We're definitely gonna need a couple new ones of them. Alright, let's go ahead and look in our here. We're gonna need one of them fuel pumps. There we are. Put the cover back on. Alright, that's one more thing taken care of. Go ahead and put that fuel pump back. There we are. Put a brand new one. I'm starting to get a little too much junk in the inventory here. We might have to do some cleaning out here. Alright, and we're gonna have to change the oil. So let's go ahead and put this thing back on the lift again. Back that thing up. Put our oil container back underneath there. There we are. Used to had enough oil in there. Looks like it's been needing a change for a little while. Go ahead and we'll take that oil filter off of there. Oh goodness. That was back on her last legs right there. Guess we haven't got one of them yet. Let's go ahead and order up my oil filter here. There we are. Just handy that even away out here in the desert, though, just deliver everything that I need. Don't take more than a second or two. Seen that dartboard there. Well, maybe we can play some darts on here, but no, sir, that one is busted as well. Alright, let's see here. Looks like that's everything on the list. I'm gonna have to fill her up with some new oil and change the fluids. There we are. Alright. Now it's got the oil on there. Let's go ahead and drain all the fluids out of this one. We already took all the radiator fluid out of there. Cooling. Now we can just put some new ones on here. So let's go ahead and fill up the brakes. There we are. And put the power steering back in. Alrighty. And go ahead and put some windshield washer fluid in there. And let's go ahead and put our coolant back in the radiator here. There we are. Go ahead and fill her up. And that's everything. Alright. Whew. That was a mite pricey fixing up that one. Alright. See who else we can help today. Brake problems, suspension problems. Let's go ahead and fix up the brakes here. Actually, you know what? Get this one. We'll work on the brakes on here, but we can test out our OBD tool too. Let's see here. There we go. Looks like everything's all working on here like it's supposed to. Excellent. Nobody actually take care of their vehicle. Uh-oh. Well, that brake pump's gonna need fixing though. It's all rusty. It's gonna need a new one there. Alright. Go ahead and we'll run a compression test on it as well. Just make sure the engine's running properly here. Get all them fancy tools, it makes it a little easier. Don't have to look at everything visually. Alright. Well, we know we're gonna need a new pump, so let's go ahead and get one of them. And then we'll see what else we're looking at here. Just a couple brakes. Alright, let's go ahead and move this thing into the shop here. We'll put her on the lift. Now we look at that. Calipers, ventilated discs, and a couple of brake pads. Alright. Go ahead and look at our inventory here. Goodness, we got a bunch of old busted parts in here. Let's go ahead and get rid of those for right now. Definitely want to get rid of that, but there we go. Let's clean things up, Mike. Alright. Alright, so we need one of them ventilated disc brakes, and then we need a couple pads. Probably already got some of those there. Let's go ahead and get ourselves an extra caliper and cylinder there, just in case. And ABS pump. Alright, there we go. Have to go back to the electronics section there. There we go. Alright. Go ahead and start taking this stuff off of here, and we'll get it fixed up in no time. The car's broke down, bring it to Bubba's Fix Shop. Bubba will fix it. Excellent. Alright. Got your new ABS pump on there, so your brakes brake properly. Ooh, got himself some new fancy tires on this one. All the fancy tires in the world don't do very good if you can't brake with them, so bring it into Bubba's. We'll put some new brake pads on there. Oh, goodness. Yep, they've seen better days. Nope, 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 nope. Back here. I'm gonna put that one on, because there we go. We'll put back on what we took off it. There we are. Alrighty. Go ahead and we'll take this one back off. Definitely gonna need a new brake caliper on there, and brakes too. Alright, let's go ahead and put these new ones on here. Get you driving down the road proper like. When it comes time to stop at your destination, brakes is all fixed up here and be able to actually stop when you get there. Instead of rolling right on the front porch. Back when we was kids growing up, had a neighbor's car get away from him one time. And thankfully, nobody was hurt, but it came right up through the front porch, sat in the living room. They had a tarp over the front of their living room for nigh on 6 months when they had to get that one fixed. There we are. Go ahead and put this one back on. No use putting on new parts that they hadn't asked for. Alrighty. Go ahead and check our fix-it list here. We done all of these. Go ahead and send him on his way. Alright, let's take a look at our toolbox here. Let's see here. Let's take things on and off a little faster, I think. There we are. And let's see what other tools we can get here. Tire gauge, charger, welder. Let's go ahead and we'll get ourselves. Let's see here. We're gonna need a fix-it shop. Need a garage expansion there. Actually, let's go ahead and we'll get ourselves a salvager shop here. It's a little expensive. Maybe we'll wait on that one for a little bit. Go ahead and get a tire gauge, though. Actually, let's go with the pressure meter first. There we go. Alright. Keep adding tools to the toolbox here. I will be able to take care of things really well. Alrighty, y'all. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. Old Bubba's going to need to go have some lunch, so I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone. And remember, if your car is broke, bring it to Bubba's Fix-It Shop. Bubba will fix it. My name's not Richard Alexander George Montgomery III. I don't know why Mama called me all them names, but she said she wanted to give me options. Now I'm called Bubba. Alright, y'all. We'll see you next time. Take care.